Great. Hey.
お願いします。
お願いします。さあ、100分ダウン。はい。さい。Eat the shoulders. Eight circles one way. And the other way. Eight arms forward. Arms going back. So stretching one side and the other side. Crossing and change. Open and close. Wait, eyes are active. Hand back. Ryoku. Benji. Ryoku. Down. Breathing in. Go. Ki. Go. Dan ki. Go. Up, forward. And down. Hey, knees from back. Ripples, one way. And the other way. Down. 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 The toes. Feet. Ki. Go. Ki. Go. Dan ki. Go. Hey, outside presence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inside presence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Raising over the leg. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Few hinges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Your legs and lower your hips. Hands out. So that's in. Hands out. Hands in. And pivoting one side. Pivoting the other side. There you go, your toes. So hips up. And spine up. And hips. That side. The other side. Stop. Grab your jaw, something, a stick that you can put over your head, more or less a white thing. So we can keep practicing this set of exercises that we did during the Koshi Waza month to help us to correct our posture and also our position for specific things like Koshinage, but more in general, is good in general practice in general for our body. So number one, please remember having your object above your head, not in front of your head, but above your head. That's going to force your shoulder blades to go back. Okay, so put it down and force your shoulder blades to go a little bit back. Put down, put it up, shoulder blades behind, down, up. Remember, head up and shoulder blades back. So that helps you with your posture. When you take the object down, up, when you take the object down, try to maintain the same position. So careful that you don't go all the way up and then that you kind of hunch on the way down. Okay, so you go all the way up, you keep your position that's being forced by the jaw, and then on the way down, try to keep that position on your shoulders. Okay, so get used to that. Get used to having that position. Shoulder up, shoulder blades back, down, shoulder blades back, up, shoulder blades back, down, shoulder blades back, up, shoulder blades back, down, shoulder blades. Okay, so now all the way up, okay, above your head, and now go as low as possible without an overhead squat. And coming up, all the way down and control with an overhead squat. And up, down with an overhead squat. Up, down, overhead squat. Up, down, up. One more, down, up, and relax. Okay, that's for the overhead squat. All right, so now this time, hands in front, at the level of your shoulders. Okay, it's for your front squat. Okay, remember, don't cheat. Don't grab the jaw with your chin. Okay, keep it in front. Thumbs up. Okay, same thing. Try to keep the jaw not rolling into your arms. So down, up, down, up, down, hold down. Hold your position down. Up, down, hold your position down. Up, down, hold your position. Up, control on your body. Down, up, down, up, and relax. Okay, we're trying to control our body, control our posture, control the weight down. Okay, so this time, RDL or Romanian deadlift position. Then we are going to alter into cautionary position for us. So hand above your head, coming down towards your hips. Keep that shoulder blade down. Open your legs, okay, and your jaw touching your legs, touching your knees, touching your shin, and up your hips. Okay, your hips go up, so your back is more or less straight. Okay, from that position, okay, let's go down and touch the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rewind. Okay, so the important thing is to adopt the correct position, which starts with an RDL setup. Starts with the RDL setup into here, which is eventually what RDL exercises do. But in our case, we continue from the RDL position to a cautionary position, sending the hips back, focusing on the center of gravity back, and from that position, without losing the shoulder blades. Remember, the shoulder blades are down, trying to go down and touch the ground. Okay, so it's important to keep your shoulder blades back. Okay, so one more time, above the head, blow the blades back, keep the shoulder blades back, put it down into your hips. Okay, now into your RDL position, rolling close to the legs, once to the shin. Now into your cautionary position, sticking the bum out, and now going down to the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and up. Okay. One more time. Above your head. So towards your hip, keeping the same posture. Down into RDL position. Up into cautionary position. And into squats. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep your eyes up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And relax. All right. All of those are good basic exercises for controlling our legs, controlling our posture, and so on. So now this time, let's do side to side. Just keep having your tool with you. Okay, side to side. Okay, the squat series reminder. Our squat series reminder. They are all good for lower body control and for posture control. So side to side. Okay, lower on one side. Lower on the other side. Goes up on one side. Goes up on the other side. Now, so front squat. So let's see if you can front squat. Okay, do a Cossack squat. Kind of more or less following the principle of the front squat. Okay, try to see if you can. How much can you do a Cossack with the principle of the front squat? So, one side, and the other side. One side, and the other side. One side, the other side. A couple more. One side, and the other side. So, and so, we're going to come out from that one. and put it down. Okay. So anyway, so that set of exercises with your jaw, with your tool, are important, and to have understanding how does it work. Okay. So down and coming up and back stretch. Forward again. Hips up. Hips down. Hips back. Forward. Hips up. Hips down. Hips back. Turn it to one side. Turn to the other side. One side. The other side. One side. The other side. Side to side. So, okay, again, so for lower body control as well as for postural improvement, overhead squats, front squats, RDL position with Koshinage position squats, and then Cossack squats with the front squat guide. They are all good ideas to kind of do as often as possible so your body kind of gets familiar with the demands of the lower body in terms of lowering your hips and using your legs in a controlled manner, and with the demands of the upper body of trying to maintain as much posture as possible. It's also really good for some of us who in Ikkyo look down too quickly. Okay, so when we enter and we know that we're going to hinge, our mind knows that after we enter in Ikkyo, we're going to hinge, but because we know that, our eyes shoot down too quickly. When our eyes shoot down too quickly, our head shoots down too quickly, and we do lose posture. So it is really good to do all these squats because it also trains us to remind our eyes to stay up as much as possible, especially when you do the Koshinage squats. When you are in this position, you go down to your RDL, you come here, keeping your eyes up and then doing your Koshinage squats from that position. It's a good idea. So it kind of reminds you to keep your eyes up as opposed to keeping your eyes down. Into that, which eventually will translate hopefully to specialty techniques, or very basic technique, or all basic techniques, but Ikkyo, very, very common situation. Okay, so Ushiro ukemi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shin box position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Shin box extension. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, go back again into your Shirukemi, and this time tactical position. So one leg out, one leg out. So posted. Okay, one leg posted, one leg out. Shirukemi, 1, Shirukemi, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now remember, if you are in that tactical position, one leg posted, one is out. One hand goes out. If necessary, both hands go down. Okay, floating the hip, passing the leg, getting up. On the way down, the same. If necessary, both hands touch the ground, leg out, and sit. Now, while you do that, do not completely sacrifice your posture. Try to not go hunchback. Okay, so if you are here, try to keep your head back. Your back more or less straight, as opposed to coming to this position and just going hip up and back hunch and coming up to the hip. Okay, now try to still keep your back as straight as possible, hands down and extend and up. Okay, so we're going to do a few tactical get-ups after our Ushiro ukemi position. Okay, so 1, and wait up. Go down. Out. Push it okay again. 2. Up. Down. 4. 3. Down. 4. Down. 5. Down. 6. Down. 7. Down. 8. Down. So typically the tactical get up, okay, in the beginning, okay, when you end up, if you are warming up or something, you can use both hands. Okay, you can use both hands, to allow yourself to float, pass your leg, and come up. And then on the way down, use both hands, to float your leg and gently sit down. So you can use both hands. Eventually, the actual get up should only use one hand because it is assumed that the other hand is protecting from something coming towards you. So you're sitting here, you keep your hand in there, the hand is protecting up, and then you're always kind of protecting yourself in that region. But it's 2 hands is okay. It's like everything, like in any other ukemi. 2 hands is okay at the beginning, but eventually one hand is the one that has to do the job in order to get up. Okay, so now Yoko ukemi, please. Yoko ukemi, find a place. Yoko ukemi. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we're going to do your ukemi in stopping at 90 degrees. But please remember the important element of engaging your core muscles is not at the end of the ukemi, as in when you have to hold it 90 degrees. It's actually at the beginning of the ukemi, because at the beginning of the ukemi, you are engaging your core muscles in order to protect your lower back, to protect your spine, and then safely receive the roll. This position here confirms the engagement of the core muscles, doesn't triggers the engagement of the core muscles, okay? So please be aware that when we do 90 degrees exercises, the legs up confirm the engagement of the core muscles. They do not trigger the engagement of the core muscles, okay? So please trigger your engagement of core muscles at the beginning of the process, because that's what keeps everything in place to not damage your lower back and your spine. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, next one, simple ukemi. Let's see. Next one, simple ukemi. All right, same thing as with the tactical get up. You can begin with both hands, okay, if you are warming up, but eventually one hand has to do the job, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right. So during the week, we've been focusing on the idea of, where this monk were practicing katame, the element of control in all our techniques, not only the katame Waza section. We're going to pay a lot of attention on the katame family of techniques this month, Ike, Nike, Sankyo, Jonkyo, Gokyo, etc. But it's more the understanding of things that are within our control. Sometimes in the math program we say to kids, every situation has only two types of things that you can control, things you cannot control. Okay. Now, as we say to the kids, sometimes that sounds overly simplistic because there are things that we should be able to control that are hard and difficult to control. For example, in Aikido, we should be able to control the distance, but it's a difficult thing because we are a bit more passive, or the uke is too aggressive or whatever, so we lose control of the distance. Okay. So it is not that it is simple, it's just that it is a fact. There are certain things that are within our control that we should get better at identifying and at doing. So one of those things is managing the distance. So the principle was, that it is in Nage's interest and strategy to approach and close the distance to uke rather than passively wait for uke to approach and close that distance. It's always a little bit of a tricky thing because there are certain moments when that is obvious. For example, Katame Dori, right? When Katame Dori exercises, very obvious. Okay, and even in Ushiro Ryo Tekumi Dori exercise. Okay, here when I come, it is less obvious in things like shomenuchi, things that are flying in it. But remember, the point of the shomenuchi is at some point she loads the shomenuchi. That must be my cue for me to come in. Okay, she loads the shomenuchi. That's my cue for coming in. She loads the yokomenuchi. That is my cue to come in. Even with ski, okay, so even with the ski, sometimes sensei enters really deep, before he doesn't normally parry this far for the body, from the body. Sometimes sensei when sensei enters and parries this close to the body. He actually hits you, boom, in the body before your ski actually even starts to leave your hip. Eventually, this is going to leave the hip in order to strike. Sensei enters so early that he connects with your body before your arm actually even leaves the body in order to kind of proceed forward. So the important thing is to try to remember that. We mentioned three things during the week that we continue reviewing. Okay, number one is manage the distance, okay, which is the beginning part of the interaction. Second one is managing the timing of the meeting. Okay, so that happens more for things like shomenuchi, yokomenuchi, and things like that. Manage the timing of the meeting, making sure that the timing is something that is also within our control to manage. And third, manage the space. So distance and space is not the same thing. Distance is the actual gap between you and your partner. The space is the area that is created, all the time around you and your partner. So that's another important thing that Mero Sensei mentions a lot. Sometimes we understand ma'ai, okay, as this frontal distance between me and Irena. And then we think, okay, we have ma'ai, then we close ma'ai, and then now we're doing something else. But what Sensei reminds us is that ma'ai, almost similar to the core muscle idea. The fact that the ma'ai is not what's in front of us, ma'ai is what is around from us. So it's not only, this is not only ma'ai, all of this area is ma'ai. So, so eventually when I move, for example, in Ikiura, I'm still managing the ma'ai between me and my partner, which is constantly being created. So sometimes it's the same idea of ma'ai, it's just that when I made a distinction, this is the distance, this is the managed distance idea. So I close the distance, I make distance, I close the distance, I make distance, and then eventually I manage the distance, and then I manage the space around the person. So possibly it's a difference without distinction, or a distinction without difference. So maybe it's not really a difference, but just to understand that those are those two ideas of space around front. Okay, so go back to our basic ones, please. Have your two. So ikkyo omote. Okay, so we end. Okay, the most important gesture here is your jaw is going to come up towards you, as if it was a shomenuchi or something like that. Okay, and now you're going to enter. You're not going to wait for this shomenuchi to come towards you. You are going to go into it and try to stop it before it generates too much power. Okay, so here and here and here. So that's moving for omote because you're sliding, and for ura, we do that step. Okay, with ura, step, ura. Okay, to the other side. So sliding for omote, sliding, so sliding, sliding, and stepping for ura. So in both cases, okay, this is very basic for EQ, but then we all keep making this mistake. Okay, the formula is in down. Okay, in down. Okay, so now for EQ omote, the formula is in down in, and for EQ ura, the formula is in down out. Okay, so but it's the formula is in, which means you as nage come and reach that distance of in, okay, down, okay, it always takes precedence. So in, down for omote, and then for ura, in, down, okay. So for omote, in, down, for ura, in, down, okay. For omote, in, down. For ura, in, down. For omote, in, down. For ura, in, down. Okay? So, we can do those two things. We are 2/3. We actually, obviously, we did those two things properly. We did more than 2/3 of the exercise properly. The last part is not a full 1/3 important. Last part, by that stage, the person hopefully should be pretty out of balance. Okay, so by the time I enter, okay, in, down, that's it. By that stage, my next step, which is in, omote, or in, down, and out for ura should be not like 1/3, 1/3, 1/3. It should be less than 1/3 because I have done most of the job. Okay. Now, if I didn't do the job properly in those first two steps, then the last part is going to be terribly difficult or not possible at all, really, because there is no unbalancing of your plan. So, okay, so for omote, in, down, and then in, stepping in, and stepping in twice. I mean, you could say that is in, down, in, because it requires two steps. Okay, so in, down, in, and in, down. Okay, in, down, in, or in, down, in, down, in, and in again, and down. Okay, in, down, in, and in. Yeah. It's the very important thing to remember also with here is remember by the time we do the very last part, which is the oshimai, the kneeling. Okay. Yeah. If I did it, so I'm doing it properly. In, down, in, and in. Her elbow, not her wrist. Her elbow must be down on the floor. Okay. So it's very important. So in this case, I am not going to bring her down anymore. She should already be down by the time I adopt this position. I'm simply going to open and then come down on my knees. But it's very important that when you get to this place, you make sure that that person is already down. As opposed to, come a little bit, as opposed to something like this, right? Where the hand is down, but the person is up. Then it's a problem. How do I bring this person down? Just because something failed in that process. She should be already down. The shoulder should be already down. And then you're just accommodating yourselves to the traditional Oshimai, which is on face. Okay? But you may not need the traditional Oshimai. You just may reach, knee, and then just stand here. And then that's it. Not traditional Oshimai, just standing Oshimai. The person is fully controlled on the ground. Shoulder is down, hands up. Then Oshimai. Okay? But make sure that the palm is fully controlled from the shoulder on the ground. Now this time, Ura, which is possibly the one that we fail the most. In, down, out. Okay? In, down, out. Okay? So Ura form. In, down, and out. Okay? So, okay. In, down, out. Okay? So, in, down, out. Remember? Okuriashi, Yoko Okuriashi. That's another feature different. So, in, down, and around Mawaruashi. What we're going to say we practice in, down, and sliding out Okuriashi. Okay, so very, very clear on having the distinctions between Mawaruashi and Yoko Okuriashi. Okay, so in, down, Yoko Okuriashi. In, down, Yoko Okuriashi. In, down, Yoko Okuriashi. In, down, Yoko Okuriashi. One more. In, down, Yoko Okuriashi. Now remember, just as an exercise for Okuriashi, okay? Let's say, just grab with one hand, okay? Grab with your left hand. Your right hand, your left hand is going to be controlling the person's wrist or arm. The right hand is going to be controlling the person's elbow. So that's the hand that should be right in front of your center of gravity, right in front of your belt. When you lower, and now you move towards the hand that is controlling the wrist, keep that in front of you. Go back again. Down, in front of you, keep it in front of you. One more time. Down, in front of you, keep it in front of you. Most common mistake we all know is we go down, out, then we have to drag the hand in all the time. So it's a matter of habit. Change to the other side. Right hand is on the wrist, left hand is on the elbow. We lower and we move to the right, keeping the hand in front. Okay, right hand is on the wrist, left hand is on the elbow. We lower, move to the right. Right hand is on the wrist, left hand is on the elbow. We lower and move to the right. Up, down on the wrist, elbow, lower. Okay, so that's the most important thing is that to remember that what we're practicing is an Yoko Okuriashi, and that the hand that is controlling the elbow must always be in front of our center of gravity. As a little bit of a extra trick, okay, sometimes if you lower, and this is something that this is where you can adapt your training depending on the circumstances, okay? If you lower your hips and your legs are already really spread for whatever reason, you have a really big hanmi or a really big opening, and you say, far out, now I have to open again and move. Feels like opening too much. Feels like, okay, I'm here, I'm already really open, now I'm supposed to be able to slide that way. Feels like a really big drag opening. That's when you change from what is called Okuriashi, when the front foot leads the motion, to Sugiashi, the back foot leads the motion, you close, and you open again. Okay? So, Sugiashi, okay? So if you're going to the left, Okuriashi, the left leg leads the motion. If you're going to the left, and you're doing Sugiashi, the right leg closes first and then opens. Okay? Now, sometimes this closes too much and opens. That's up to you. That's part of the artistry of it. Okay, so you can do that if you want. But the important thing is lower, close the gap, and extend again. The other side, lower, close the gap, and open again. Lower, close the gap, and open again. Lower, close the gap, open again. All right. So the important thing is to move not in a circle, which will be the Mawaru-ashi form, okay, but move out laterally. Now, in that laterality, there are two options. Uriashi, where the leading foot is the same as the direction you are going, or Sugiashi, where the leading foot is the one that closes the gap first and then opens up. Warning, the more you close the gap, the more unstable you are. So the more control you must have on that elbow. That's the only thing, okay? So this is more unstable than this. So it's fine to come to this position as long as you keep a strong presence of mind on the elbow. Otherwise, when you close the gap, the elbow may push you if you are not careful, okay? So the closer your base, the more unstable you are. The bigger your base, the more stable you are. So you can practice Okuri Ashi or Sugi Ashi when you practice your Ikkyo Ura, as long as you keep attention off on that. Very important. Always keep your hand in front of your center, So, so just remember. But now the important thing with Ikkyo, Omote, and Ura is that you enter. So the first part of the formula is in. Okay, in both cases. In. You close the distance. Down. Okay. And then from that out, down, in or out, depending if you're doing Omote or you are doing Ura. Okay, but if we are a bit more disciplined on that formula, in, down, then the last part of the technique has a bit more chance of success. Otherwise, the last part of the technique becomes horribly messy. Okay? Ready? Hey!
どうもありがとうございました。
Arigato gozaimashita. Thank you very much.